This week on the podcast, we break down our experiences on the Resident Evil 3 demo. We talk a bit about Animal Crossing, a little bit about Doom, and then we get down to this week's and last week's question of the week. We got our winner. He's getting some games, and we're hoping you're looking forward to it on the Sunovageek podcast. See, what are you doing?
What do you think I was doing?
I don't want to know. I thought it was all right. We played the demo. We're going to be talking a bunch about that today. For Resident Evil 3, it was all right.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun.
Okay.
Freaking Nemesis was terrifying.
Oh, yeah, he was terrifying for sure. I was not expecting it to be the way it was, with just how aggressive and tough. And then it turned out we weren't even supposed to be able to beat him, which makes more sense.
Yeah, because it was impossible to beat.
Yeah, you're not very good at the dodging mechanic.
I got great at it, thank you very much.
No,
all
you
right.
didn't.
He only killed us once.
Twice.
No, once.
Was
he
it
knocked
only
us
once?
down plenty of times.
That's right. We did get a lot of zombie hickeys, though.
Well, the only reason he's killed us because I saw him. I'm like, nope, nope, nope. And then I ran into a small room thinking we'll be safe. And we weren't safe.
So the zombies in Resident Evil don't work the same as normal zombies that I'm used to.
They do not. Yeah, they don't. It's typically my biggest gripe with the Resident Evil games is I kind of wish they had slightly more realistic mechanics in that sense. I mean, if you shoot a zombie in the head, I'd like the zombie to die. Yeah. And then move on my way.
Yeah, it'd be nice for that. But it's also just how it is in tons of zombie games. Although it's not like that in Left 4 Dead.
But Left 4 Dead has other monsters, right?
Yeah, it's got other monsters.
Yeah. I mean, that's one thing I gotta say Hunt did very well, as opposed to Resident
Hunt Showdown.
Evil. Yeah, Hunt Showdown.
Yeah, I forgot that was even
every
a
little
game.
zombie there, if you shoot in the head, they just die, which is nice. I mean, granted, it does make it pretty easy to mow through them and everything. But what I would like to see with Resident Evil making things more challenging would be like a couple more extra zombies, or maybe make your gun hold less ammo, or make less ammo available in general.
Okay, so more of a survival element to it then, instead of... That's not the right way to put it, but hopefully you kind of get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. More of a...
So the challenge would come more from the management of your resources than from the amount of health that a unit would have.
Yes.
So does it matter where you shoot the zombies in Resident Evil?
Well, headshots do more damage. do. But and you can I think there's a small percentage where a headshot will insta kill. Okay. We saw it a couple times when we played.
Because it was like a crit or something like that. And the head exploded.
Yeah, the head would just explode. But it has nothing to do with precision of aim. I think it's just a number, a percentage chance of it happening. So it's luck.
Okay. So that percentage isn't there if we shoot him in like the foot or something.
Right.
Okay. Can you shoot off the legs of the zombies?
No.
Because we had the shotgun and we took out a couple arms.
Well, maybe you can actually. I'm not sure. I don't remember. It's been a while, and I didn't do it in Resident Evil 2 at all.
Didn't do what?
Try to shoot limbs off.
Okay. Well, to be fair.
I mostly went for the head.
If it takes 3 shots to take out the head, it's going to take a lot of shots to shoot off an arm. That's not worth it.
Yeah. So, I mean, and that was with the shotgun. So I imagine it's probably more like explosions or something that would probably make limbs come off.
So you've played Resident Evil 3 before?
Long time ago. The original I played a very long time ago.
Did the demo start out at the beginning of the game, or were we fairly far into it?
I wouldn't say you're fairly far into it, but you're definitely...
But it's not the very beginning.
No, it wasn't the very beginning. Because in the very beginning, you don't even have like a gun or a knife yet. You might start with a gun.
Yeah, because the demo starts out in a train.
Yeah.
But the train's not running.
No.
And so we've got to go find out that we've got to get it running.
Yeah, so the train isn't running. Some cop got bit, so he's boned.
Well, Bill from Left 4 Dead got bit, and Zoe has to go out and get the train running.
You mean Keira Knightley?
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah. Sorry. Well, no, Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman. That's right. Yeah. Sorry, they already look the same. But anybody who watches this podcast, we did a Let's Play of it as well that we'll be releasing on our Gameplays channel.
Although that might not make it out for a week after this is out.
Dude,
'Cause
we need
there
to
were
release it when
more-
it's hot. The
there
demo
were
just came out, man.
There were more shark episodes than I thought there would be.
Well, then alternate.
I can't alternate.
Sure you can.
No. That's not how it works.
Sure.
It's all or nothing.
Nah.
I could just upload more often. How's that?
Or just, one video a day. It's fine.
All right, let's just do that then.
Okay.
Cool. I'm fine with that.
All right. Yeah, sounds good. Glad we sorted this out.
Perfect. So now it'll be like 6 days. No, just kidding.
Okay. Anyways, you don't like horror games, so you're
I have no problem with horror games. What are you talking about?
whatever. You hate horror games and how they make you feel.
Yeah. Well, I get really emotionally invested into stuff. For example, spoiler for anybody that's watching this, I was watching My Hero Academia, the latest episode that came out. And there's a moment in the episode where it's just like an all right thing, and I felt like emotionally drained after.
Oh yeah.
It just the music hits, I get into it, and I feel like I'm a part of it, and I'm there. And so horror games, they're tough for me.
Yeah. Like we still never finished Amnesia, which makes me really sad. But
I
good
don't
news
even
on that,
remember
Spen.
so
They're re-releasing it with
no.
harder
It's supposed
challenges.
to be scarier.
Oh, it's gonna be amazing.
No.
How about I play it and you can be the passenger?
Well, we tried that with Machine for Pigs, and that never finished. So explain that one to me.
Well, that was laziness on my part.
Yeah. The other one was on my part, so I guess what if neither of us play and we both just commentate?
Wipe the slate clean.
Okay,
and just
that's a
do
little more
this new
appropriate.
Amnesia. We'll just do this new Amnesia when it comes out.
No. Like I told you, I'll play it if I'm paid $1,000 to play through the game.
And here we start the GoFundMe campaign for Spen to go play Amnesia.
I told some of my stream that it was a couple weeks ago, and they're like, "Where's the GoFundMe page? We're gonna get you to play it." It's not gonna happen. I don't ever plan on the next time I play a horror game. It's gonna be like on a Halloween, like a Halloween month or something like that. But it's not gonna be Amnesia.
Well, let me look at Amnesia when its release date comes out.
It's not gonna do that.
Totally gonna check it out.
For Resident Evil 3, I was fairly. I enjoyed it more than I thought I was going to. I thought it was going to be silly. I thought I wasn't going to like it. It doesn't... I think I prefer, so far, the Resident Evil 2 remake better.
You didn't even play that.
I didn't, but I watched a friend play most of it. And by most of it, I mean I caught 2 streams of it. I thought that game was done really well. It was really cool, like the moving around between all the places.
Yeah.
I know it was a little bit more confined, but it felt, I don't know, there was just some feeling in the atmosphere of the game. It was really cool. I enjoyed not having to deal with the inventory management, because I was just watching it, so that was all his problem.
Yeah.
It was just really cool how it was set up. And because everything was so much more confined, it felt like there was a lot more kind of going on at all times. Whereas Resident Evil 3 that we were playing, it felt a little bit more open. There was tons of empty space. And I get it. We're out in the middle of a street. We were moving through some like shops or whatever in some downtown place. And it was really cool, but it didn't feel... It felt too open, and it felt like there was just a lot of... Kind of like if it was a piece of artwork, there was too much negative space.
Okay.
Just things that didn't need to be there.
See, I didn't feel that way about it. I actually like the slightly more open space to kind of give you a little bit of brevity between like monsters and stuff. I mean, granted, Resident Evil 2, I thought did a perfectly fine job of that as well, but they're just completely different situations in the spectrum, you know?
Well, maybe it's because Resident Evil 2, everything I saw, it's, I mean, you could kind of consider, I think it's considered a linear game, but the way that you go about stuff doesn't feel very linear, just because you can kind of, you're exploring through a mansion.
There's a lot of backtracking and taking this route again to go here, to get this, to go there, to get that. I'm like, oh, I remember this little puzzle I have to solve. I finally got the item to go do that. And then,
yeah. Whereas in the third one, it didn't, but it was also a demo, so who knows? There could have been a lot more of that, but it didn't.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of what I really liked about Resident Evil 2.
We had a very, very small segment of Resident Evil 3.
Yeah, it was only half an hour, and and we screwed around for a lot of it too.
Yeah, that's true. Like if I was just like mowing through it, it probably would have been like 10 minutes.
Oh, I wouldn't even say 10 minutes. Oh no, that's not true. You were very adamant on making sure we collected a whole bunch of things that we didn't need.
Yes.
Yeah. We spent.
I think that's the type of gamer I am, by the way. Like I like to get collectibles, and I like to make sure I get things before I move on.
I don't give a crap about the collectibles.
See, I don't give a crap about like reading things.
No. Well, yet everything that we opened, you had to read through it.
I didn't read through all. I was reading through for the Let's Play. Like the very first thing I opened, I'm like, look, words, and then I closed it.
Yeah. All right, we'll go with that. You guys will see that Zio's wrong and I'm right here. If you go back and watch.
Okay. We'll see. We'll see. Sven gave me crap for doing that. He's like, you don't ever read anything.
Well, yeah. Well, it's either all or nothing. That's how you go with it.
So after I looked it up, I realized it is not a remake of Amnesia: Dark Descent. It is a sequel called Amnesia Rebirth.
It's a sequel? I thought it was a remake.
Yes.
Like a remaster.
Nope, it is a sequel, and it's set for release this fall, which means we could play it in October, Halloween time.
How did the first one end?
You have to play it to find out.
Dang it.
Here, I'll send you a trailer.
I'm not watching it. It looks scary already from the picture.
Oh my god, it's a picture of the inside of a car.
See, I don't mind doing like horror-themed Dungeons and Dragons because it's just a bunch of words and I don't have to worry. You know what it is, Zio? I think what it is that gets me the most about horror games is when I start to like when the adrenaline starts to kick in from just being frightened or scared or whatever from what's going on. I want to just run away from what's going on. But there's limitations on how fast the character can go or all these other things, or maybe like the zombie or something that's coming after you is faster. And then that's just where I start to feel like, oh, I'm not going to be able to do it. I can't get away. And then like, for example, the end of the demo.
Yeah, like, man, that was so stressful. But that's part of what I love about the game. I love the games that like make your heart beat and everything.
My only problem, and I'm sure it'll be different in the main game, but in the demo, he was so fast and so strong at what felt like an unreasonable thing that after the third death, it would have been more annoying than it would have been challenging, I think.
Well, yeah, it's all about learning how to deal with the situation and just getting better at it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so there wasn't a level of difficulty to choose. But I imagine it was probably set to like medium or normal. That's only
medium?
That'd be my guess.
I'd play it on easy. How's that?
If you play it on easy, it's probably a little easier to deal with.
Nice. Oh, no, it needs to be a lot easier, and then I'll be okay with it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts then? Are you excited to get the third one when it comes out, or is it something that you'll be okay to not get right away?
I will be okay to not get right away. I am excited for it, but I have other games coming out around the same time that I am more excited about.
What else is coming out around the same time?
Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, that's right. It's gonna suck.
Nope, it's gonna be glorious. Oh my god, dude, they're showing a trailer of Resident Evil 3, the demo and stuff, and like it just had like Nemesis just charging at you. That was such a terrifying moment.
It was. And then what did he do to that other zombie?
He put like disease and stuff in it, so like the zombie head became like this tentacles thing.
So how does it work? Why are there in the Resident Evil series? Why are there these just absolutely massive guys, like Mr. X or whatever it is, and now this guy? What causes them to be like this? Or is that a spoiler, like heavy spoiler territory, or does nobody know that's just how they are?
I'm sure there's a reason for it. I am not a Resident Evil expert.
Okay.
I enjoyed the games, but I never really got into the lore of all of it. I just played them and moved on.
Yeah, because I don't know. It's weird. There's not many zombie games that go that route with the infected creatures.
With, you mean like tentacle heads and stuff?
No, like this like sentience.
Oh, you're talking about like Nemesis?
Yeah, things like
Well,
Nemesis
isn't a zombie. He's I do know like he's a creation.
Oh.
So he's different. He's not quite.
So someone's right, the Umbrella Corporation, isn't it?
Yeah, the Umbrella Corporation is the one responsible for like the zombie outbreak and everything. And
okay. Do we know, are they just the bad guys, or are they the bad guys but trying to be good guys?
Umbrella?
Yeah.
They're just the bad guys.
Just the bad guys. Okay.
Yeah. They did they believe they did like a rebranding. Like they used to be red and white, and then they became like red and blue to try to be good. But I don't remember what happened.
Is this all canon stuff you're talking about, like in the actual story?
Yeah, I believe so. I think I just have vague recollection of things. I'm not an expert, and I by no means know what I'm talking about. I'm just pulling stuff out of my butt.
Okay.
Just because I think I kind of remember something this way.
Okay. Because I guess there's enough Resident Evil games out there that they would have had to have come up with some stuff that's going on. Because what you were saying is most of them are connected.
Yeah, they're all connected. Even the 7th one is connected. It just changed the way the games have been played.
Oh, because in our Let's Play, you were saying that it was connected, but it kind of wasn't. It was like an alternate or like a different time thing or something.
Well, we don't really know 100%. There's a lot of rumors around it. Like I really enjoyed 7 a lot. Like that was the one I played the most out of all of them.
Okay.
Just because it was a first person horror style versus that third person style.
Because that's the one where all the trailers were you were in the house or whatever, and then there's these people that are like infected and gross.
The family, yeah.
Yeah.
And it was a lot less about zombies and stuff.
What was that one about? So were you some guy from a group?
You were married to this woman, and this woman went missing.
Okay.
And turned out she was taken. I don't remember if she was killed. I think she was killed by this crazy family, and the crazy family became like immortal. Or no, she wasn't killed. It's her family. She was kidnapped by her family, and they're like these immortal demon things. They're not really demons. I guess they have like this black pussy blood. It's like this weird gooey thing that takes over them and makes them immortal.
So why didn't she have that?
She did.
But we didn't know about it beforehand.
It's been so long. I'm so bad at this. I've explained this game horribly. Anyways, all I remember is like the husband went to go look for his wife. You get captured by this family looking for the wife. Find out this family's fucking nuts and crazy and monsters, basically. And you don't really fight zombies. Like, you fight the gooey black monsters that kind of are around. And then it has choices in it. So, like, you can choose between, like, your wife and some other person that tries to help you. I don't know. The game was awesome. It took place in a tiny house. It kind of went back to its roots of just kind of being claustrophobic and in a small area.
Okay.
But at the same time, it was a first-person shooter as opposed to a third-person shooter.
Oh, so you were still shooting stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, because I thought it was going to be more along the lines of like like the Telltale series meets Amnesia.
No.
Okay, so then
no,
7 is completely different than what I thought.
Yeah, 7 I would say is more in lines of what was a popular horror game? The one with the crazy people in an asylum, and then they made a sequel about crazy Christian people that raped things.
What?
Outlast.
I was even going to just randomly guess Outlast.
I would say it's a mixture of Outlast with Resident Evil.
Okay. That doesn't really help because I never played Outlast, so hopefully it helps for those listening.
I guess a real example, it took a lot of obvious inspiration from PT.
That's not a bad idea. Weren't
That's
they
what
the ones working on that before it?
it was. The development studio was paying our favorite person, the guy who made Death Stranding. He was making PT because it was going to be a Silent Hill game. I don't. I don't remember his name at all. Kojima. There we go. He was going to make.
You just got to remember the Kojima code.
Oh, Kojima code.
Yeah. Do you know what that is?
Isn't that the up, down, left, right, A, B, start?
Yeah, it's something like that. I just remember there was a really old song I used to listen to. It was up, down, A, B, select, start, trying to restart your heart or something like that. It was really stupid.
But yeah. I don't know. After they did 7, I was like curious what they were going to do, but then they started remaking. They remade the first Resident Evil, and then Resident Evil 2, and now Resident Evil 3.
And they're probably going to remake 4.
So what I think they was is 7 kind of jump-started the whole series again, because 6 was a train wreck and 5 wasn't very well received. At least in my opinion, I didn't like 5 at all.
Yeah, I don't even know anything about 5.
But then 7 kind of changed things. Like, main characters looked a little different, and because they had Chris from Resident Evil 1 and 5, and he looked very different in 7. Like, he appeared like at the end of the game. Spoiler alert.
Oh, well, great. Now I'm never going to play the game because you ruined the ending for me.
It has no relevancy to the entire story. Like, the story is so different.
It's going to be stuck in my head. I'm never...
But I think
I could never
what I think they're doing is remaking the games, but changing some things to kind of fit a better narrative they're trying to create. I think they're just trying to retcon everything.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because the first one was kind of a exact remake of the original. Then the second one took a few liberties and changed it and kind of went back to the roots of horror. Then the third one's doing the same thing, I can see. And I think they're going to redo the remaster 4, keep it really similar because 4 was really well received. And I think they'll change 5 and 6 more dramatically.
So Resident Evil 2 remake changed things from the original?
A couple things, yeah.
And it was like lore and story stuff?
More. I think it was just kept that focus on like the horror emphasis. I wouldn't say a lot of the story is different, but they definitely changed a few things.
Okay, I think I get what you're saying then for kind of rebooting the series then.
Yeah, it's kind of like a retcon reboot, kind of like X-Men: Days of Future Past.
Okay. All right, I'll give you that. That's a good example. I like that movie.
I do too. It's a great movie.
Okay.
But again, I am not an expert. I don't know all the lore or anything. I just enjoy playing the games, and I'm glad they're kind of going more horror-centric rather than action.
Well, you got to say the demo's pretty short if we can finish talking about it in 25 minutes.
Oh, yeah, it was definitely short. Well, I wanted to talk about a couple mechanics of it. So, like, a few things I wasn't a fan of is it felt a little clunky between movements, and I think the dodge was kind of clunky. It could be because I was playing on keyboard rather than a controller.
Yeah, and you said you were more used to playing it on the controller.
Yeah, I play most of my video games with a controller, so that could have been it. I could have like probably keybinded to change that effect, and it'd probably be a little better.
Okay.
But also the shooting isn't as accurate as I would like it to be.
Yeah, it fell off sometimes because you'd have the reticule in the middle, and you'd fire and you'd miss. Yeah,
and I get like the gun is swaying and stuff, so the person...
So shouldn't the reticule sway with it?
Kind of, it's just to make it harder to hit the zombies for people on PC, I would imagine.
Well, we don't want that.
I agree. I don't want that
That's why we played on PC.
But yeah, they should have swayed the reticle, so we could have at least learned how to work with the sway.
That's garbage.
And not to mention, you're supposed to be like a SWAT agent. You're supposed to be an expert with guns, and yet you're missing a shot like that.
Yeah, we expect more from Natalie Portman. She really gets into her roles, but for the role of this character, she's just not pulling the weight if she can't make those simple kinds of shots.
I do gotta say, I really dig the new character design.
Yeah, it was really nice.
It reminded me. I pointed out in the game when we played it. It reminded me a lot of Lara Croft.
Yes.
But I like the fact that they made her more tactical looking as opposed to sexual, because in the original she's like wearing a mini skirt
Oh, is she?
and a tank top, and she's like, yeah, I'm sexy. But the game came out in the 90s.
Yeah,
so,
things were a little bit different back then.
yes. But yeah, I enjoyed the demo. I do look forward to the release, and eventually I will buy it after I beat Final Fantasy VII.
After you beat Final Fantasy VII.
Yes.
It's going to take me a long time to beat Final Fantasy VII if I'm only going to be playing it in these new release parts.
Excuse me. Tired.
I still haven't played it since we talked last.
I know. All you literally have to do is play like the first segment of the game. It's only like a 3-hour bit at most.
Well, I'm still stuck in that one spot that we talked about last time, and I haven't played it since you gave me the tip on how to get out of there.
Super easy.
And although you didn't really give me a tip, you gave me a walkthrough. You're like, go to this spot, talk to this guy, get this thing, then go over to this part here, go to this part there, grab that, put that there, and then you're all right. I'm just like, no, see, that's not what I wanted.
Well, too bad. That's what I gave you. Yeah. Look, I'm trying to help you get through it. All right?
I don't know if I'm ever going to play it, though, Zio, because Animal Crossing came out.
Oh, man. You and a bunch of other people.
About it. I wasn't going to do
I saw this news article that people are getting pissed off at fans of Animal Crossing because all these teenagers were going outside to the video game store and they created this huge line just to get Animal Crossing as opposed to just downloading it on their Switch. And people are getting so angry, like, man, these guys are killing their grandparents just so they can play a stupid game.
Well, it's important. You know what's stupid? All those people that are complaining about that, if something came out that they were really into, then guess what? They'd all be lining up for it too. So they're only complaining about it because it's not something that they're doing right now.
Yeah.
People are crazy.
People are cray-cray.
I was really excited because I thought Tom Nook was no longer going to be putting me in debt. But I was wrong.
Who's Tom Nook?
Tom Nook is, he's basically a sociopath that in every Animal Crossing game that you play, you go to this new town and he's like, oh, hey, I got you a house. By the way, here's the loan that you owe me. And then you finish paying off the loan and he's like, oh, cool, you finished paying this off. I upgraded your house. By the way, here's all the money you owe me. So you basically spend the entire time playing Animal Crossing in debt.
So what is Animal Crossing? Isn't that the thing where you like build a farm and stuff?
It's not your kind of game, I don't think.
Oh, I know that.
There's no farming. That's like Stardew Valley or other games like that.
Oh.
This is one where it's just a casual game where you spend a lot of your time going around talking to the other villagers, running errands for them, where they're just like, oh, hey, I've got this thing that's supposed to go to this guy. Can you take it to him for me? And you're like, all right, sure. So you grab the thing, you go take it to the other guy, and the other guy goes, oh, cool, thanks. I was waiting for this. Here, have this from me. And then they like give you furniture so you can put it in your house. You can go and fish and then sell the fish for bells that you can use to pay off your debts or buy other bits of furniture or clothes. Or you can go and take it to the museum and you can help fill the museum with fish and dinosaur fossils and bugs.
Okay.
I haven't really done it justice for the explanation, but at the same time, yeah, it's just a very casual game. There's no farming. Most of it is about kind of the socializing aspects with your other villagers. Kind of, not really. I don't know. You talk to villagers a lot, run errands for them, and then you just do stuff to collect bells, which is what the money's called, so that you can buy furniture and upgrade your house and clothes.
So it's basically Sims with animals.
No, it's not. It's hard to explain. Sims is more of like the management of all of your stuff for your character, like your stats, your health, or not your stats, your health, your like your needs. And this is more of just walking around, picking up seashells, fishing for fish, digging up little spots in the ground so you can find things that or maybe might be there.
So it's like Sims on easy mode.
I wouldn't know. It's nothing like Sims. Not even a little bit. You gotta get rid of the Sims comparison, because that's nothing.
I don't know. The way you're explaining it makes it sound like Sims.
Have you played The Sims?
You gotta build your house, and you gotta.
Well, no, the house is already built. You just put furniture on the ground. The furniture really does nothing. It's just appearance sake. You don't interact with it really. You can sit on a chair, and that's about it. Although in the one for the GameCube, you could go and collect. It was old pinball machines or old video game consoles, and you could play all of the old original Nintendo games.
Okay.
Which was kind of cool. I think there was stuff like Pac-Man level, like those kinds of things. But yeah, you can't do that anymore. I don't think those are.
I mean, like.
Are you looking up a video of it right now?
I'm reading the Wikipedia.
Okay.
A player assumes the role of a human character who moves into a rural village populated by anthropomorphic animals and lives there indefinitely. There's no defined objectives, but instead encouraged to spend their time in the village performing any number of activities, which include collecting items, planting plants, or either items. Planting plants or other items? You just plant other things that aren't plants?
You can plant money and it turns into a money tree.
Oh my god. Socializing with village residents. Animal Crossing games are played in real time, utilizing the video game console's internal clock and calendar.
Yeah.
Thus, passage of time and game would reflect that in reality. High level of customization available, so you can customize your character. And that's about it.
Yeah, that probably sums it up. That's probably the best sum up for it.
How much is this
goals of the game. It's $70.
Jesus.
There is a fair amount in the game.
Doesn't
and now
sound
I feel like I'm just right now. I just feel like I'm trying to justify this. When I went to buy it, I'm like, oh god, what am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing?
I don't know. I mean, I can't. I'm not one to really judge other people's games. I can't judge other people's games, but like, it just. I don't know. I find games like that hard to get into.
No, it's definitely not a game for you. From the games that we've played before and the things you've talked about, you like or don't like about them. I just like the casual nature of it, where I'm lying in bed before I go to sleep, or if I wake up in the morning and I have a little bit of breakfast and I'm waiting for work or before I go to work, then I just pull it out and I go into my town and I go and I look at my flowers and go talk to the elephant that lives a little bit down from me, and he's like, oh hey, go take this over to the goat. I'm like, all right, let's do that. So I take it to the goat, and the goat's like, oh look at this, I've been wanting this. Here, have a couch that I don't need anymore. It's just, I like it. It's just really casual and it's relaxing. Plus, they've changed it a lot now, so you can actually go. More people can go and visit. Like, if you have a bunch of friends that have the game, you can all go and visit each other's towns a lot easier now, and so you can all just hang out and fish together. So
you know what other game did that?
This is the only game that I like the fishing in. I hate fishing in video games, but I enjoy it in Animal Crossing.
What's so different about it that you enjoy?
All I do is I walk up and down the river or the beach, and I wait till I see little like shadows of where a fish is, and I throw the fishing rod, so it lands in the water, and then I wait for it to go nibble on it, and then it pulls it down to the water, and I just spam the A button until I get the fish. None of these dumb, like, gotta make this bar go and fit for things, or sitting there like this going, all right, waiting for something to show up. I know it's there. I know what's happening. It's easy to do it. I can move on. I freaking hate fishing in Stardew Valley. Can't stand it. I'm also not good at it. That's probably why. So I'm excited for it. I've only played like 2 minutes of the new one, because then I got a message from you and you're like, oh, podcast. I'm like, all right, let's do it. So cool. But I've seen a little bit of it played. I think it's going to be fun.
Now I see there's like a lot of mixtures and stuff. Like a lot of people. What's the blend between Animal Crossing and Doom?
Oh, so they're both releasing on the same day.
Oh, okay. So a lot of people are just making memes about it and stuff.
Some people started making memes, and then even the Doom developers were starting to tweet at Animal Crossing and get stuff going, which was genius for them, because Animal Crossing, I'm pretty sure Animal Crossing is bigger than Doom right now. As in, like, just the fandom and the people, just because of how new Animal Crossing is, and in just the general audience that it kind of goes for. It's a bigger market, I would say.
Okay. Well, I wouldn't say Animal Crossing is new. It's been out for like 20 years.
Yeah, but Doom's been out for a lot. But
longer, I guess,
Doom also
yeah.
hasn't had very much of a presence, except for its last game, the last game that came out for it. Whereas Animal Crossing's been like constant. Every new generation has had an Animal Crossing game.
Okay.
So that's kind of what I meant, more of kind of the newer thing. So
okay.
But yeah, so they had a bunch of, basically that's what it was. They both were coming out on the same day. And there's a really neat picture of, there was a promotional picture for Animal Crossing where it's like one of the animals is waiting and kind of looking out. And it's like, whoa, Animal Crossing coming soon. And then there's just the Doom guy up behind and all of his like armor and his gun. And he's just standing there waiting too. And it's just funny. Cause
I did see somebody made like a promotional thing where like if you bought Doom and Animal Crossing together, you'd get like this weird little dog thing, amiibo, that with a shotgun that you could play in Doom.
I don't think that's true at all. I think that's
well, it's
just
not
like,
real. It was
okay,
a fan made thing, but it was funny to look at.
It would be pretty funny.
I love the blending of the worlds.
Well, because what's neat is there's one character from Animal Crossing. I don't remember her. I like how I'm way more excited to talk about Animal Crossing than Resident Evil.
Yeah, the exact opposite for me. I'm way more excited about Resident Evil.
Well, there's one of the characters that's in Super Smash Bros. I don't remember her name. It's like Mirabelle or something like that. She's a dog. An anthropomorphic dog.
Yeah.
I believe. I could be wrong.
Okay. I'm not here to confirm or deny it.
Yeah, ever since she was in that, there was just been a massive boost in just fan love and adoration for that character. And I feel like shoot, you know what, Zio? This is going to sound really stupid. I forget where I was going with that.
So Resident Evil 3.
Yeah, Resident Evil 3. Whoops. I haven't even been drinking.
I'm glad you're excited about Animal Crossing. I'm excited about Resident Evil 3. I'm curious about the inventory management because a shotgun only took up one slot. Last time I checked in Resident Evil 2, a shotgun took up like 2 slots.
Because in Resident Evil 4, which is the only one I know the most stuff about, I think the length of the gun took up more slots as well. Like a shotgun or like a bigger gun would be like 4 slots all the way across.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. But in this one, it didn't do that.
No, in this one, it seems to be more just each item is its own square.
Now,
which makes the management easier.
It does make the management easier, and I'm wondering if that was just a demo thing or if that was just imported. That's how the game's going to be.
I don't know. In the other Resident Evil games, when you look in your inventory, does it pause the game as well?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm pretty confident.
I don't know if I like that.
I feel like you would love that, Sped, because then it would give you time to react to things if you wanted.
Well, so there was a horror game. Well, not really a horror game. There was this, I played Zombie U.
Okay,
do you know what? It's not Zombie U anymore. It's just called Zombie.
Yeah.
It was Zombie U because it came out on the Wii U first.
The horrible console, and then it didn't have any sales, so they released it on other consoles, but they couldn't call it Zombie U because it, applied to good consoles.
Yeah, so, sure, whatever. So, what I really liked that they did in that one is they did have inventory management, kind of similar to how it was in Resident Evil 4. But what was neat is when you would go to do management in your inventory, you would have all of the inventory on the Wii U tablet. But then on the screen where the TV was at, it would change the perspective to be like over the shoulder of your character, so that while you can either be looking in the bag, which you're looking down at, or you look up to as if you're looking up over the character. And I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
It kind of felt a little bit immersive. For the most part, it didn't matter because you could see out of the corner of your eye what was going up on the screen anyways.
Yeah.
But they did a bunch of different stuff like that where there was codes you had to find out to punch into keypads while things were coming up behind you, so you had to deal with different things that way. But I liked, I really liked the idea that you had to also plan out when you were going to go into your inventory. That it wasn't just the game paused and then you could switch things around.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's fair. I do get that. The way I just see how Resident Evil does it is less of, hey, I have inventory management, because you can get to a point where you have like That one, I think, had 8 squares. You can get like 16 or 32 or something like that. Could you imagine?
That's with upgrades?
Yeah. Could you imagine running down the street and then, oh, let me scroll down 32 slots just to get what I need real quick in this all quick second.
Well, I'd be okay with that if it would give you time to go where you'd have to find other moments where you'd have to like go and sort things around and be like, okay, these are important to me. Let's move them close to the top.
I mean, you still have to do that. Like, you still have to pay attention to your inventory and everything. But I think it's more of the game's more tense than probably Zombie U was, I guess. It probably has...
I think so. Zombie U didn't really have
more
many
moments where you run into stuff.
Well, I don't know. I didn't even play much of Zombie U. It was too scary for me.
Oh my god. But again, it's just more of you have to sort through your inventory and everything like that. I think it's different than The Last of Us as well, because The Last of Us, I think, did a very good job with its inventory as well. Like, you could use your directional pad, and if you push up, you can hit up a couple times to go in that order of that section. Done. Yeah, I really like that.
Because it was really simple. They also didn't... Oh, no, but then they also had the really well done crafting as well.
Where you pull out your bag and you can craft something.
Because the game didn't pause when you were doing that.
No, it didn't.
Because I remember getting attacked a few times while trying to do that.
Yeah, that's different. Now, if they did something like that, that'd be fine. But again, I think the reason The Last of Us got away with it is because of how they had their inventory management.
But the inventory... The items in your inventory aren't really that different from The Last of Us compared to Resident Evil 2 from what we were playing.
It is, because in Resident Evil, you have limited items. So, like, yeah, you can find herbs and you can find, like, powder to make bullets and stuff. But in The Last of Us, you had nails, you had metal, you had bottles, you had all kinds of different resources. You had a lot more resources to collect, but they also made it different because, again, the management is you can push up a few times for this, down a few times for that. As Resident Evil gave you also a lot of key items that you would need to keep in your inventory to
like that
to
fire
finish
hose.
Certain puzzles. Yeah, like the fire hose or the bolt cutters. The Last of Us didn't have things like that.
Things like the bolt cutters, I'm assuming that's something that would be kind of relevant throughout the rest of the game.
It would depend on the item. There's some items like... In Resident Evil 2, what they did is, like, you found these keys, and these keys could unlock certain doors. And yeah, you would need that key with you to unlock these doors when you got to them. But then once you actually use the full amount of the key, like if you unlocked every door that key could possibly use, you would just throw it away.
So you could still have it in your inventory.
Yeah.
So what happens if you threw it away, but you hadn't finished?
Then you don't.
Can you go back and pick up where you threw it down?
You would go back to pick it up.
Okay, so it does save all the stuff.
Yeah.
In Resident Evil 2, do you go back? Can you go back to a lot of in the third one, can you go back to a lot of those places, or is it more of once you've gone past it, you can't go back?
I think it's very similar to 2. You can go back.
Okay, because did Resident Evil 2 have those weird boxes that you put stuff in and then it was there forever in any of the other boxes?
It's like a magical box. You go into this room and you could save your game, and you had this magical box, and that magical box basically, it didn't teleport, but it teleported all the items from that box to the next box, into every box in the entire game in the magical room of safety.
Is that something that's persistent with all the Resident Evil games?
Yes, except apparently this third one gets intense because Nemesis can go in the safe room.
What?
So in previous Resident Evils, the safe room was safe. Like, and the Mr. Bad Guy, he couldn't chase you in a safe room. So if you went in there, you're good. But apparently Nemesis can bust in and kill you still.
Oh. That'd be really scary, playing through the first and the second, and then you get to the third, and you're like, oh, safe room. And then suddenly Nemesis is like, hello?
That's where it changed. Like, it used to always be a safe spot, and then now they've changed it to be more horrific and terrifying because not even your safe room is safe.
So if we were to play the full game, is it possible to kill Nemesis where we were at, or is it still something where it's impossible to beat him?
He would be impossible to kill. If we can kill him, it would be towards the end of the game, like where he's the final boss.
See, I don't like that. I don't like when there's an enemy that's thrown into a fight or thrown into a section with you and you can't beat them. without something clearly saying, hey, you've got to get out of here. Because if it wasn't for you deciding to go and do the fire hose thing, I would have kept playing through it, trying to kill him, and then eventually just given up and being like, no, this game's stupid. I'm not doing this anymore.
Well, I mean, I think it's a pretty obvious hint when you shoot him and he doesn't flinch.
See, that wasn't obvious to me. I thought he was just really tough.
No, like, I mean, if you can... This is a standard for any video game, right? Like, if you shoot the enemy, they
really
flinch.
You could shoot him with your handgun and he just kept running at you.
Who?
Mr. X from Resident Evil.
No, he'd flinch.
2.
You had to use like big items to make him flinch, but yeah, he flinched.
But if you shot him with your handgun, it wouldn't.
Oh,
handgun,
flinch. Absolutely not. But...
So what's the difference between me shooting this guy with a handgun and him not flinching? How am I supposed to realize, oh, hey, I can't kill him?
Well, I used a shotgun on him and he didn't stop at all.
What if I didn't have any shotgun ammo when I got there? How am I supposed to figure out that I can't kill him?
Then you aren't doing anything. So, like, if you're not making him flinch, you run away, right? Like, if you have no other resources to do anything to try to make him flinch, you run away.
But there's nowhere else for us to go because we've already explored everything else.
Except there obviously isn't. They're not going to just throw something in here and then not have an out.
See, but my problem is there was nothing during that fight for me to be like, oh crap, we can't beat him. I honestly thought when we got there in the demo that we had to beat him and killing him was the end of the demo.
No, I told you we couldn't kill him.
Yeah, well, yeah, you told me because you already knew. But what if I just stepped in there to start playing? How am I supposed to know?
You die and then you learn.
But I keep dying, and I keep going back thinking, what am I doing wrong? How am I not killing him? There's nothing, though, that tells me or informs me in any way that he can't be killed.
The reading documentation probably tells you that. And also...
Does it?
Probably. I don't know. We didn't read it.
That's true.
But,
well, we read some of it.
Very little of it. And then also, I'm pretty sure this is like towards the middle of the game or like the first third of the game or something like that. You probably run into him before that and then find out he's invincible. Like, if you play the actual game, that would be the determination where you're like, you would probably shoot him and then Jill will probably say something like, why aren't my bullets doing anything? And that would be your indication, oh shit, he's going to murder you. Run away. That's
fair. In that case, I'm just disappointed in the demo they gave us.
Oh my God, whatever.
But it's fair. I've never played any of the Resident Evil games where they should have put
that
into
what about Legend of Zelda, right? So like if let's say Badawa, right? You're playing Badawa and you find a boss, right? It doesn't tell you how to beat the boss, does it? You have to figure it out.
But I know that every boss can be defeated.
Right. And in this scenario, defeating the boss isn't killing him, it's getting away.
But there's nothing that told me that or informed me or taught me up to that point because we're playing a demo in the middle of the game. How am I supposed to know?
You're shooting him and he's not reacting. That's a pretty good indication you can't kill him.
I mean, to be fair, he's a big guy. If I was that big and someone shot a bullet at me, I'd just keep walking forwards.
But what does that have to do with you, personally the one shooting him, not learning that, oh, I can't kill him this way?
Well, I'm just saying there was nothing for me.
The bullet's not doing any damage to him is the answer you are seeking for to learn you can't do anything.
Not me. That's not how I see.
That's the definition of insanity.
These games are garbage.
If you're gonna just sit there and do the same thing over and over and over again.
Oh, I wouldn't. I'd try different things. I'd try luring him over to explosives. I would try with the grenades. I'd try a bunch of different stuff like that.
And eventually you would have learned, I can't kill him, and you would have moved on.
No, eventually I would have gone and I would have used the fire hose on the spot, and then he would have busted through the wall, and I would have been, this game is garbage, and then I would have stopped playing it.
I do agree with you, though, actually, wholeheartedly, that I don't like bosses thrown in there that you can't beat. I think Dark Souls does a pretty good job of that. Like, you can technically beat everything you run into right away. You just maybe shouldn't.
Well, I guess... See, I'm sure you're 100% correct. Something is going to happen earlier on in the game that lets us know that we can't beat him. But that was just my gripe with the demo, with having no experience in any Resident Evil game before.
Fair.
So it's just. I mean, I look at it as. Oh, go for it.
I guess I was just going to say, how many people do you know that play Resident Evil or play any demo of any game if they knew nothing about it?
Lots of people.
Really? I feel
I've
like
played
people
tons of
get
demos of
demos.
games.
I feel like people play demos of games more so to just kind of feel the game before they make the purchase.
Exactly.
They're already interested in the game.
Exactly.
So
That's
being
that's
interested
usually
in
what
the
it is.
game, wouldn't you do a little bit of research?
No. If I was interested in horror, if I liked horror games and these kinds of games like the Resident Evil games, and I hadn't seen if I hadn't played a single one of them before, but I'd played other ones, and this one came out, I'd be like, all right, let's try the demo. This sounds cool. And that's, I wouldn't go and be like, Resident Evil 3, all their bosses that I can't kill.
No, but if you were aware of the previous games, you would know that almost every Resident Evil has a boss you can't kill.
Yeah, see, but I'm coming from a
Right away.
perspective where I don't know that.
Yeah, but you were saying, like, if I was interested in the Resident Evil games, then I would get this one. At some point, like, if you're interested, whether you watch somebody else play a different Resident Evil game or something, you would have some kind of an
Look,
inkling.
you
of
can't
an
win
idea.
this, Theo. You can't win this.
Sure, okay.
There's no winning. Not for
Okay.
either of us in this.
Yeah.
I just don't like. I don't like that it gave us a boss that we can't kill, and there was no hint in there to say, "Hey, you can't kill it." That's my problem. It's like, okay, imagine we're playing a game of Dungeons and Dragons. All right, I'm the DM. You're playing with 3 other people.
No, I 100% agree with you. Before you
I throw
continue
in
this
this baddie,
analogy,
and then you guys go and you guys do a whole bunch of attacks on them, and then I get them the crap out of there. And then at the end of the session, I'm like, how'd you guys like it? They're like, oh, it was pretty good. I really liked it. Yeah, you weren't going to be able to kill him anyways. What? Oh, yeah, he was going to get away. It's just kind of, well, it's like, how are we supposed to know? You didn't tell us. We just wasted all that crap on him. It's like, yeah, should have known. You should have played D&D before. It's just like, I don't know.
I also think that's part of the experience. You're supposed to waste a bunch of crap on them. Because I think the experience of a new player is, oh, God, shoot it till it dies. And then they waste all of their resources, and then they're fucked later on in the game because they decided to just waste all their ammo on this instead of trying to be strategic.
Yeah.
I think that's also part of the intention.
No, I totally get it. I don't want to say that was of the entire game or the entire demo. That was the coolest part when we encountered him. He was super tough. I don't like that he was invulnerable, but at the same time, he was just frightening and scary.
Yeah.
And I felt dread.
I would have liked being able to at least make him flinch. That's kind of what I thought I could have done. Like if I shot him with a shotgun, maybe he would have just. Like
there were a few times he stopped and he wasn't doing anything.
That was because he just swung at you and missed. So he was like, "All right, that was embarrassing. Let's try this again."
That's how I'm going to imagine it every time. Oh, I love that. That was an alright demo. I think it's a cool game.
It was. It was, and I would love to play it with you.
And it's not going to happen.
I would play way more horror games if you were just involved, Spen.
See, but
don't you want me to love the game?
I do. I want you to love the game, but I want you to love it without me being a part of it. No, I mean, when Resident Evil 4 gets remade, we'll play that demo together.
Oh,
I'm totally cool with that. I don't mind playing the demo. It's short enough that, I think that's what it is. I knew going into playing the demo that it was only like half an hour to an hour tops, and then it was over, and I was like, all right, yes. So if we can play horror games that are really short, I'm in. I'll do it.
All right.
Like, there was that one that we played on Itch.io that wasn't really a horror game, but kind of was.
No, I agree. That's exactly what I plan to do. We're going to play more Itch.io horror games, Ben. They're all really short. They're all going to end in like 30 minutes.
Although, I'm still really mad about how that one ended.
Oh, the one, what was it called? Lifeo or something like that? Or
I don't, it was something
LIFO?
like, we were trying to go in and save our wife, I think it was.
But the story was super confusing, and it like threw a bunch of different things at us.
Yeah, it's like some guy captured us, and then we escaped from that, and then we had to find our way through these things, and then there was this spider in this set place.
Right.
And then we made it to the end, and he was like, what are you gonna do? You gonna kill your wife, or you gonna go? I was just like, what? I think we killed her anyways. I think we pushed the button, didn't we?
Yes.
Oh no, it was either we kill us or kill her or something like that.
No, we didn't. The button didn't even work. It just showed us her.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And then we walked in a hallway, and then the game ended.
And then the game ended.
Yeah. Remember,
But
like
it teased us that there might be more.
Yeah, it's like there could be more.
Yeah, it was like but the worst part is all of the sections of the game were okay. But together they were garbage.
They were not great. Yeah, each little section was like its okay little thing. But yeah, all together, I think what we did, we called it "It's Not Lasagna." I think that's how we reviewed it. We're like, "It's not lasagna." You can't just put the. Or no, it's not goulash, because goulash is like a pasta where you just throw a bunch of shit together and it works.
Yeah, that's right. Because that's still on the main channel, isn't it? That was back when we're doing other stuff. That was before Next to Nothing, the web series.
Yeah, that was before what we became what we are.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah, me too.
You know what?
Okay.
All in all, I would give, because that's what we are now. We are a review channel.
Is this what we are now?
Yeah. I'm gonna give Resident Evil 3 demo a 6 out of 7.
Why 6 out of 7?
It's like for comedic effect.
But like, why 7? What's the comedic effect?
Well, it's because they're like 6 out of 10. That's garbage. But then I'm like, no, it's out of 7.
See, I would give Resident Evil 3 out of 3 a 3.
Wow, that's really good.
Yeah, because it's just 3. It's the third Resident Evil, so it's 3.
You know, if we averaged that out,
Oh man,
that's like a really good percentage.
Yeah,
between
that's
the
pretty
two
good. That's like a 90 something.
It's not a perfect, but it's pretty darn close.
That's right. Game approved, everybody. Game approved.
We give it our stamp of approval.
That's right.
Yeah. All right. Well, I don't really have anything else to say about this stuff.
Yeah, I got nothing else to say about it either.
Cool. Oh, we got a question.
Oh yeah, questions of the week.
Yeah, I read some of the answers already. Sorry, Zio. It's not as much of a surprise anymore. I think there were some really good ideas. There was one of them's my favorite though.
There's only like 2 answers, I think.
Yeah, I know, but the first one's my favorite. If you could have, go for it.
So the Sunovageek question of the week was, if you had to join Darwin's game, what would you want your sigil to be?
What's the first answer?
The first answer was a sigil. That's a pretty good answer.
I don't think that person even knows what we were talking about with
Probably not. They were just responding. But we did get a serious answer.
Yeah, which was really good.
Oh, by the way, Jace Tay was the one, or Ty was the one who put a sigil.
Yeah.
So, but the serious one was from Steven Jones. Metamorphic sigil, he said, because it's versatile. If I need to make an escape, I can change my body to fit through small spaces or harden my skin to reduce damage if attacked. It may not be the strongest offense, but defensively, it seems pretty OP.
Nice. I think that's really sweet.
Yeah, it's a pretty good one.
Yeah, because he could turn into anything.
Yeah, pretty much.
Some guy goes to like speedily jump at him. He just turns into like a knife pine,
or a puddle.
Or a puddle. Why a puddle?
I don't know, because then the guy would be like, what the fuck's going on?
Where did it go? Why am I suddenly wet? How would that work, though? Because you'd need to get all... Okay, if you turned into a puddle and he kicked some of the puddle away, what happens when you turn back?
Are you taking damage? Maybe you're just losing some hair. Like, if he had a beard, half your beard is missing or something like that.
Well, it's like little parts of you from all over.
What would, if you had to choose a sigil, what would it be, Sped?
It was tough to decide.
Okay.
I narrowed it down to 2 of them. One of them, I would like either to be able to read people's minds.
Okay.
Or I would want the power of telekinesis.
Okay.
That's what I would go with. If I had to pick one of them, I would go with telekinesis because it doesn't matter if I can read someone's mind if they shoot me.
That's true.
Like, because then all it really is, oh, I know he's gonna shoot me.
Yeah.
Oh, crap.
I think if I had to do it, I'd probably go with time control.
Ooh, explain this one.
So, like, just freeze time around me.
Okay.
So I could, like, if I'm fighting someone, I can just stop time and then stab him in the neck and walk away.
Right. Okay, that's way cooler than mine.
Or, I mean, I thought about, like, speed, if I can go fast.
Oh, fast would be kind of cool.
Fast would be cool, because then you could be like the Flash, and I can just, like, run through a person.
That's true. Although you got to be careful about that, because that happened in... Did you watch that superhero show on Amazon?
The Boys.
Yeah, The Boys.
Yeah, that's where I got it from.
Okay. See, I'd like telekinesis, because then if anybody ever went to attack me, I'd just be like, ha! Just like throw them away.
Ah, not anymore! Surprise!
Because there were some really cool powers in it. Like the girl that could turn water into ice, or the boy.
Okay.
I don't really know. It's hard to tell.
Both.
Both?
They're gender fluid, okay?
Right, sorry. There's a lot of cool powers, but they required something specific. And I feel like with telekinesis, I don't know, I guess it would be just, like if I was fighting the plant guy, I would just create a bubble around myself where he couldn't go, like none of his little spores could get into me. And then while I got the bubble, then I just start I just grab him and go poof, 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 in like a hallway or something like that.
Oh, okay.
And, like,
but you'd get really tight, because I mean, the way I think about it too is like, the stronger your sigil, the less you can use it. So, like, imagine telekinesis, like, the more OP your sigil becomes, the more exhausted you'd probably be using it, right?
Yeah, but okay, here's the real reason I want it. It's because you can still use it when you're not in a fight. So then I could just be sitting at home playing games, and then, oh, here comes the sandwich floating through the air, and then I could just be sitting there, and then like the cupboard door opens and comes out the peanut butter. It'd be so great.
Nice.
I'd be really good at multitasking.
Okay.
Because I would be playing video games and then doing everything else at the same time.
Well, Spen.
Also, if you have telekinesis, can you make yourself fly? Technically, that's like 2 powers.
Yeah, I guess.
Not that it matters if I get shot.
To make yourself fly. Yeah, I mean, if you get shot, it's all over.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter if I get shot. So, you know what? I want the ability to not be able to get shot. That's my new sigil.
All right, so then people will just stab you.
Crap. I'm out of ideas. All right. I'm going to stick with the telekinesis.
All right. Well, we got to pick one of our favorites, because then you got to give them a game.
Sigil. No, we should be serious with it. I think we should give it to the anthropomorphic. No, what did he say?
Metamorphic?
Metamorphic. Still got the Animal Crossing.
He wants his sigil so he can turn into an animal. But not any animal, a human-like animal.
Ooh. I mean, he could do it.
Oh, man.
Nothing's stopping him.
Yeah, you can be a furry if you want, Steven.
Yeah, but I'll send him a message. We'll get some stuff figured out for the video game.
Cool.
And then we'll get it going. We'll get it going.
And all those other people, you missed out, man. You should have listened to the end of the podcast. You could have got a free game out of it.
That's okay. So we got to throw a new question out for next week.
Yes. Yes. Did you plan one?
I did.
Good, because I didn't.
I know. No, my question is, if you had to get stuck in a horror video game, like if you had to go and play through it, but as like the actual character in the game, which one would it be?
Oh. Ooh, that's a really good one.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's
so you have to basically, you have to live through a horror game, but you get to choose whichever one it is. What's it going to be?
You get to choose whatever horror game you want to live through, but you have to live through one of them. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Not Amnesia.
Submit your answers below.
Yeah. If anybody says Animal Crossing, they're automatically disqualified because it's not a horror game.
Or any game that's not actually a horror game.
Although technically, have you heard the fan theories about why it's a horror game?
No, it's all right.
All right. Well, I'll have to share them with you some other time.